One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about a whistleblower or a hoax.
Well, this story went wild. It went poof wild. So this was a Reddit post. This was a original Reddit post. I'm not going to get into it too much, but it got 80,000 likes, Chris.
On Reddit.
Within a few hours.
I thought Reddit was dying.
No, bro. Reddit stock is pumping. But long story short, he goes, I'm a developer for a major food delivery app. The priority fee and driver benefit fee go 100% to the company. The driver sees zero of it. Okay, that's the headline. And then he goes into it. Basically, after I read the post, it sounded like one of my articles from the blog. We have been saying this for a while. We can't prove it. But this guy comes forward as a software engineer for a major developer. So once I read this, first of all, I thought it was DoorDash for sure, if it was real. Okay. Then the saga continued. I actually sent him a message through the app, and it seems like so did a lot of different journalists. Then, well, now we can tell the whole story. We don't have to hide anything. Then I was sent a 19-page document, which I'm not going to show because it's fake. Alex Bitter, we just talked about, from Business Insider, was sent. A lot of journalists were sent because they did the same thing that I did, tried to get in touch with this guy, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, just in this article alone, Chris, and I know I texted you, and there are so many red flags here, right? This is nothing new to the driver on the street. Yes, it is happening. The priority fee doesn't go to you, part of it. The driver benefit, which is Prop 22 part, doesn't go to you. You know, it goes into a slush fund, and then you get a top off out of that, all that stuff. We talked about that. We've been talking about it for a couple of years. But the red flags in this article were, he says he's on a burner laptop at a library. And at the end, he goes, I'm drunk, I'm angry, ask me anything before this gets taken down. Now, those were the red flags in this one. And then sure enough, Chris, this guy, whoever this is.
First of all, why are you not using a VPN?
I mean, look, bro.
Come on, man.
So this guy sent this 19-page document with supposed internal stuff. Okay? And you know I have my sources. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. Immediately I checked. It goes like, no, we don't do it this way. And then I ran the 19 pages of the article, copied and pasted into ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, does this look real? He goes, it's 99% fake. First of all, he goes, no company would admit to grayballing, to desperation meter, to all these things. When they put out, internal memos are a lot different than this. So this turned out to be a hoax. However, if there is a whistleblower out there, right, you know where to get a hold of me. I mean, I'm pretty public these days. So that's one. And Alex Bitter, who received the same 19-page article, he texted me yesterday morning. He goes, Sergio, I got something from the guy that posted this, the whistleblower, supposed whistleblower. Do you want to talk about it? I go, yeah, sure, I want to talk about it. And then at the same time, I got it. And you could tell after the first 3 pages, Chris, it was like, I didn't even have to run it through ChatGPT, but I did. And so, yeah, but this got a lot of play. And Tony Shu, who I thought this guy was working for, responded, holy fucking shit is right. This is not DoorDash. And I would fire anyone who promoted or tolerated the kind of culture described in this Reddit post. There is so much wrong with this post. Dashers are not human assets, Tony. With all due respect, let's not get there. having a metric like desperation score is an abomination. Nah, I don't know about that, Tony. Yeah, I mean, look,
It
we've
might have
proven.
a certain score, but it's not called. It might be pegged internally as desperation score, but it might be pegged something completely different when it comes down to what they actually call it.
Yeah, for
Saying,
sure. I mean, yeah.
saying.
We never had a driver benefit fee. Actually, Tony, I beg to differ, because in California with Prop 22, it exactly says that driver benefit fund, actually, which DoorDash collects about $1.50 on each delivery that goes into a slush fund. Then that's when they give, 2 weeks later, they give you the top off. Why
Mhm.
would you charge for faster delivery but not make it faster? Well, we know that, Tony. We know what you guys do with the algos, because I've done enough deliveries, over 3,000 now, that when you match me with something, the person actually that's paying for the delivery is the one that's getting shafted, because usually they drop into the second delivery, segment of the total order. We're
Mhm.
not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but we work every day to make our flat platform better for everyone who comes to it. What's described here is appalling, and if true, whoever is operating in this manner should be ashamed. Well, we know algorithmic discrimination, wage discrimination happens. We've proven it. All the stuff in the 19-page article, Chris, and the original post, if you asked 1,000 drivers on the street, 995 of them would say, yeah, I experienced that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I experienced throttling. Yeah, I experienced this. Yeah, I experienced that. And then Andrew McDonald, who looks like in charge of everything at Uber now, because I didn't know he was in charge of Uber Eats. I'm responsible for Uber Eats. This post is definitely not about us. I suspect it is completely made up. Don't trust everything you read on the internet. On that one, I agree. Don't trust everything you read on the internet. It turned out to be a hoax.
I would say
And
though, even with hoaxes, there are some parts that are going to have truth in them. So
absolutely.
you have to sit back, or you have to take the corn husk and pull it back and see what parts are actually true versus not.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of things in there that it's like, okay, what's the news here? You're just basically quote unquote confirming it. That's really about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, look, these companies do a lot of shady shit, but I confirmed it with sources of mine, and they were like, no, we don't code things like this here. I'm not saying they don't do shady shit. Okay. I'm not saying that at all. But
Mm.
as an original post and the 19-page article that was sent to a lot of people was complete bullshit, Basically,
Well,
the 19-page article, they were admitting all the wrongdoings. I mean, what kind of internal memo would be written like that, right? It's literally admitting guilt. And I'm like, no, that doesn't look right to me. But anyway. So,
apparently at the end, that's what because you know what? First of all, that all the shock stuff is at the top. It could be
yeah.
fake, it could be bullshit, it could be, and then you got to read all the way down to the bottom. And what's at the bottom is usually what's the truth. So nobody likes to read the entire article. So the headline gets the thought process, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that happened. And then you're like, wait a minute, you read down further, and it's like the complete opposite of what was said. So in this case, I'm drunk. There you go. That's all you need to
I
know.
mean, that was the biggest red flag. But he was like talking about base fare shaving. It literally looked like one of our programs. You watched Show Me the Money, and then
It was
he's
probably
talking
made
about
up.
if there's a tip, in a delivery, they lower the base fare. Of course they do. They do the same thing with rideshare. Actually, this article could be completely applied to rideshare. They do the exact same thing we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Base fare shaving. When there's a surge, base fare gets lowered. Look, all this shit is happening. And the article is true. What he said is true, but him coming forward as a software developer or engineer at one of these companies, not true.
It's probably like this massively small company that's like 8 people
No,
and
I
like a
don't even
local
think it
it's
exists.
probably like a local, I mean, if you're at a library at what saying you're using the library Wi-Fi, first off, you weren't using a VPN. Secondly, you also weren't working, on an OS that would mask your identity or Tor. So right there is red flag. So if you are working on some serious shit that you don't want people to know what's going on because you're fearful for something, there's a lot of things in there that you need to do, including masking your identity, masking your address, masking your computer. So you probably are working on a virtual machine. A lot of different things there. So in other words, drunk.
And the funny thing is, he created himself because a couple of the journalists that are credible journalists, they're like, "Who the fuck are you? First of all, I need your identity." The guy goes, "No, I don't want to, divulge my identity." And they asked him, I go, "Well, send me something that proves you work there, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he made up with AI, with Gemini, he made up an Uber Eats employee tag. It was on Twitter, and I'm like, bro, come on, where are we going here? So anyway, and then he sent that to him, and nobody bought it, and whatever. So, but whatever, the article is true. What he said, it's all happening. If you talk to 1,000 drivers, 995 of them would go, "Yep, that happened to me." I'm like, yeah. But then anyway. So.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.